I keep watch. You leave, you call me.
Ah, you're the consultant to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Mr. Zhang, the Millilith are watching our every move now. These are desperate times. We mustn't act rapidly.
Desperate times?
The Adepti of Joyun Karst are finally on the move.
Do they intend to exercise force?
Most likely. I've heard that some members of the Qixing have already gone to meet them. Well, I say meet, but it's more like they're attempting to stall the Adepti outside the city. However, both sides were quite obstinate and hidden in...
It seems inevitable, given...
The Adepti do not acknowledge the Qixing. They only acknowledge the contracts of the Geo-Archon. If the two sides come to blows, Liyue Harbor will...
Surely the Liyue Qixing are not the sort to give in so...
Their boneheadedness is known throughout the lands.
And what now? How is it that the
That's all Ningguang's doing. She proclaimed that in these tumultuous times, the Millilith must rein in the actions of the Fatui. Only now do they want to start keeping tabs on us? That's the Qixing for you. Anyway, Mr. Zhongli, you're one of Child's close associates. Please understand that your actions will reflect on us. Don't let anyone catch you off guard.
It looks like things are about to boil over in Liyue Harbor.
Do you intend to use your neutral identity as an intermediary? But neither path is an easy one.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Zhongli, we've heard that the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor has also been caught up in all of this. They're currently squaring off with the authorities at the gate.
Things are taking a turn for the worse. I'm afraid I must leave now to handle things back at Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. I hope that Master Hu has been... Consider your next course of action carefully, Traveler. If you're trying to prevent an explosion...
Having connections with... So what does Zhongli mean by looking for the fuse? Oh, Paimon gets it. If there's anyone that wants to see the whole city turned upside down, he must be waiting for the moment when no one is watching to do so. But where could we find... Where would he go at a time like this? Ready, steady, go! The golden house? It looked impressive enough from the outside, but who would have guessed that it was even fancier on the This is where all of Teyvat's mora is minted, right? In that case, maybe they won't notice if a few mora go missing. Oh, so it's a trap! Tricky. But even if we can't take any, we can, or better yet, take a nap on top of a mountain of mora. It's like a dream come true. Oh, right. Back to bed. It's quiet. Too quiet. Surely someone... Huh? Look! What happened here? Uh-oh. Quick! We have to go make sure that the Exuvia is all right.
You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you still linger here?
Huh? Who's there?
If you were Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way. Although I'm deeply grateful to you that I was able to effortlessly find... Don't you think that trying to stop me now would just be wasted effort? Stopping the Mora Mints, hiding away the Exuvia.
So you've been planning to take the Gnosis from inside the Exuvia all along?
As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, she will get that which she desires. I'm not asking for your blessing, and the time for discussion and diplomacy has already passed. I mean, if it were up to me, either way, we now come to the battle.
Battle? So you're the type that goes, look!
You could... When Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, she swiftly left the scene once her mission was accomplished. Instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her escape. She wouldn't want the knights to... When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes, and consider the consequences of her actions. But as for me, the greatest pleasure of being a Harbinger lies in crossing blades with strong...
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen again!
Oh, so you intend to fight me? Good. I won't kill you, Traveler. Besides, you could never defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams. But hey, try to relish the fight anyway, because... Fighting talk, I love it! This chance is hard to come by, so show me all you've got. So very few ever get the chance to square off with a Fatui Harbinger. So come now, amuse me, and don't you dare disappoint. How unbecoming. Passable effort. You've made some progress. Not bad, not bad. Guess I should take you more seriously. Good. No wonder Signora was so wary of you. Well, that just means I can go all out. Brace yourself. This is about to get tough. Now, show me what you can do against the might of a Harbinger.
Go, Barbara, go!
Something else catch your eye?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Keep back! I taste blood.
No use hiding back there. All you do is run. Not bad. Your swordsmanship is quite impressive. But that's about as far as you'll get. Didn't think you had that card hidden up your sleeve.
You were just playing us to get close to the Exuvia!
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected! Well then, I'll be taking more Axis Gnosis now! I see. Well, this is most unexpected. You beat me to it, didn't you?
This is going to cost you! You got to the Gnosis ahead of me, didn't you? Did you simply move faster? Or did you leak the information regarding the Golden House to me on purpose? No matter. Hand the Gnosis over, now! Don't make me take it from you!
We didn't take it!
I taste blood.
Come on, we can do it!
I taste blood.
You're a cut above.
Look! Child's back to normal!
Well then, it seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great for my body. And now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis. You had no connection to the Gnosis, no matter where it had been taken.
That's what we've been trying to tell you!
Your show of ability today far surpasses that of Signora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that be? You already know the answer, don't you? I can see it in your eye, but if that is a secret you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my... This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend. Even if our friendship can only...
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make...
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation to an end. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the beginning. In fact, it might be that the Exuvia was just a
What? So you mean that...
Yes, it appears so. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also well. As such, we must now look toward.
Backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this. I absolutely detest working with those who are weaker than I. The truth is, the world belongs to those of us who desire to become strong. Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui Harbingers. Children must all learn to eat the—
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Guyan's stone forest.
A god?
Osial, overlord of the Vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the GR Archon in the Archon War, and who, if such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, defenseless without the protection of its do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and watch the ensuing destruction?
But the Archon War ended 2,000 years ago. How can an ancient god appear?
Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
Hey, those are sigils of permit. Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching them.
Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a byproduct. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our Tsaritsa, using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me, but knowing that such an action will not only force the Geo Archon to show its hand, but you as well. Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on? If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, we really wouldn't have known which way to... Did we make it in time? Is the Overlord of the Vortex still in the sea?
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber?
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for now.
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan... Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pin in Paimon.
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's presence, which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? So will the power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to...
We've already discussed this together, and our
What? But all of you were supposed to be the Guardians of Liyue.
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong Ballista with one's own... For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this ballista...
I suppose this is one blessing from the... So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend their strength to... We haven't a moment to spare.
Yep.
manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work!
All able Millilith, with me!
Let's go help too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you, one wishes to witness.
Not breaking a sweat!
Windblade! Huh. Be gone!
It isn't time for a break yet. My duty. Have a load of this. Eat up! This was well done!
Oh, so sorry. That is Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. Be careful not to get hit.
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
It isn't time for a break yet! Let's see this quickly!
Dodge this!
The ancient god's attacking again! There are so many Fatui too! We can't look!
Were you about to say we can't hold them, children?
Huh?
Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
This is adeptal energy! That light from your body, it's like the time in Julian Karst! Wow, it's Madame Pink's shockwave! This green is really strong!
Might be fun.
Come on, we can do it!
Fulfill my duty. My work finished.
Looks like I went too far.
My duty. Let's end
With the blood of the Chilian, I guard you against evil! Cast your fear of injury by the wayside, and fight with all your might! I too did this during the Archon War!
So this is what Ganya's like in a fight!
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast!
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
It isn't time for a break yet.
Look at me.
My duty. Have a look at this.
destruction. I fear that the god's power has reached its peak. In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right? Blink!
It's time to look to you. Just because I fulfill my duty. No slacking on my work.
Resistance. Shine.
Let's move. Keep back!
Look at me. Just resistance. Shine. All the more.
The Fatui's numbers are thinning!
Fight on, comrades! Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Is it?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed... The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vord...
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future...
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloudrit. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies. It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice to...
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone, just as it was but that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our—
Are you questioning our means of...
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue—
Forebearers, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing generation of the Qixing leaves— I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world, establishing a network of contracts but I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him.
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides, because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens? I know I already have.
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millelith. I have come to I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to—
Huh? Why does everyone look so down?
Weren't you frightened?
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millelith guards were there, and those powerful heroes. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks. Thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please come visit us for the next—
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. Aww.
You see, this is what Liyue is like. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection. But it is no longer necessary, although their blood is weak. There is still strength. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between—
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloudrit?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, Conqueror of Demons.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, fair enough.
Since we Adepti have consensus, But how will we ensure that the Liyue Qixing will not simply exploit their power?
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this rite of super...
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti. Oh, right! It's nice that we've got peace and all. Child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure Rex Lapis out, but we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on... Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the... Hyman doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adeptiless rite of parting that we're organizing? No idea where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshen Funeral Parlor.
Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that Wangshen...
We've come to see Zhongli. Could you please tell him we're here?
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment. It seems he went to North...
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong to the Fatui? Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went to the Golden House. Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time like this could... We had better go and make sure that...
New stock at Siegel Antiques? Bad news for my purse.
Feel free to take a look around.
What should I put in my letter?
You call this cooperation between Harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the Oh, it seems that some...
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child. And... you!
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the city of... Ah, Right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something precious was.
No, don't let her get to you. You've yet to gather the powers of all 7 elements. And our last battle at the Golden House was... So it might be best to keep things peaceful this time, seeing that 2 of the Harbingers are here.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map.
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never... Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. The real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually,
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind. The Gnosis, please.
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled.
How sanctimonious.
What? So you're the Lord of Chio? No, wait. That's an exciting twist and all, but...
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract.
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you, and splat! This big dragon falls out of the...
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was...
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that as you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. I witnessed the founding of Liyue, together with the Adepti. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. I kept convincing myself until one drizzly day. As I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You finished..." I stood motionless among the crowds, asking...
Oh, Zhongli...
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons still remained. Was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age? So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing to play their roles together on the stage that was Liyue. Indeed I was. The Gnosis, which I had kept for so many years, suddenly seemed... That's right. Which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until...
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your
Of course. And it would have been all too easy for him, too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Liyue matured when faced with the death.
I was pleasantly surprised with the finale of the The Adepti deserve the greatest applause, considering their years of seclusion. They hardly recognized the city, yet faced with such a crisis, they exerted the greatest amount of restraint. Not only did they manage to cooperate with the Qixing, and hats off to the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill our contract, Senora. She managed to keep everything she knew in strict confidence, far from the eavesdrop. All the while, I carried on as Zhongli, and fulfilled the traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. Thank you for walking that path. These things were all a part of my script. The only unforeseen plot twist, I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti. To come to the... They seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue's divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death.
Huh? That doesn't sound...
On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also that which I longed...
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving?
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo Archon, Liyue, would never—
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Be that as it may, you've come out of this as the hero of Liyue. I, on the other hand, will be forever prescribed as a
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zappolyarny Palace and seek an audience.
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a fair trade. Paimon has no idea—
Realistically speaking, there is no such thing.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made— My agreement with the Cryo Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo Archon. My contract to— As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the scales, uncover that answer for yourself.
Paimon can't absorb so much information. So, Zhongli, what sort of contract did you sign with the Cryo?
One of the clauses of our contract was not to divulge—
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the show is fake, we've spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now.
Well, since we're going through with this so Rex Lapis is really... Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal person? You know what I think. I don't think any of the gods... There's only one real possibility.
Fatui? They certainly are very suspicious.
Shh.
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000—
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the
Say, do you think the person who assassinated—
Now that you mention it, that's very possible. I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm Rex Lapis. Still, what sort of supernatural prowess must this person possess to be able to do such things? I have—
forget it. Guessing's no use to us. Look, the Millilith over there looks like he's about to make an announcement. Let's hear what the—
Hear ye all! Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too, gods and adepti live glorious lives. But both light and shadow have their— Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis, having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. He beseeches the people, nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Qixing's announcement said. So that's how they're... Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Could the Qixing already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? But Zhongli said that night... Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his gnosis changed hands? Exactly, right? Ooh, seems like the rite of part... Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying...
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract. And it is also the end of an era.
3,700 years of contracts.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot
the long, unending dream of our Archon walking among...
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say fair. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts? As we build...
So concludes the words of Her Eminence. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking...
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young.
The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, name your price.
Whoa!
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
The cleanup.
If you were
roping you in was possibly the most masterful move.
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this! Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotions, and here you are looking all relaxed.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying... Right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you...
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout, but you'd have to pay...
You're right. I do lack the Mora.
But why would Morax lack Mora?
As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, when I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon. So I had to...
Oh, no wonder! Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we were spending, but since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parrot.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange knowledge, memories, and foresight. The Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli. Traveling this, that is true. But there is no journey that does not end.
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our...
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is... Yes, the nation has been closed. The Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before.
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the shogun of the Inazuma Bakufu, people call...
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, this is what visions are. Magical foci.
Uh-huh. That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun...
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders.
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the god?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine.
Whoa!
The Anemo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of the fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now, knowing her, she must have again 7 ideals for 7 gods. And of... All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? Well then, I suppose you'll have to find a way to...